Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Nioh, a new action RPG by Team Ninja of Ninja Gaiden fame. We're in Sengoku period Japan, infused with all of those cultural influences and artifacts, and especially mythology, dressed up in Bloodborne regalia, with the kind of harshness and combat depth of Ninja Gaiden. I want to get this out of the way before we actually get into this. Those influences are very, very apparent, but Nioh is more distinct from what it's aping than, say, Darksiders was from Zelda. Its combat in particular has a personality that is completely unto its own. It's taken a step closer to character action than even Bloodborne did. The very basics of it are closer in control scheme and style to Souls, but once you open up the systems, you're gonna see that this river goes very deep. So Geralt of Rivia hops off a boat to Japan and is immediately strapping on wooden sandals and his rice hat and his uchi katana. He's like, I'm the last samurai. This game I really, really, really dig. When I get around to doing the full LP of it, obviously I'm not going to be talking over little lore drops and tidbits, but for now, there's not so much backstory that you need to know because this is a vertical slice of the game in its beta form, so I'm not overly concerned with that. So here's a little combat primer on stances. We have a low, medium, and high stance. Low has fast attacks that consume very little stamina or ki in this game. Medium is balanced, and high is slow and heavy on ki consumption. It's the most damaging, and it's the best for draining enemies' ki. Stances also change how your evade works. The high stance is just a dodge roll, whereas the other two stances have more of a Bloodborne fast step forward. Which, man, does that feel fucking satisfying to do. The game is so fast. I'm really impressed by it. Feels like that evolutionary step from Souls to Bloodborne. It's a little looser, but it's much faster and much more dangerous. The rest of it should feel really familiar if you've ever played or seen Souls. We have our lock-on, we have our evasive button, we have light and heavy attacks, we have guarding, we have bonfires and souls, and Kodamas. You can tell them apart by their hats when you find them, and they give you blessings at shrines, depending on which ones you find. Down here, we're going to find something really cool as well. We are going to summon a Revenant. I think this is a pre-baked one put here by the developers. It's essentially a summonable red phantom. This system is really nifty. In Souls, when you die, you know how you leave behind a bloodstain that can tell other people how you died? In Nioh, you leave behind a bloody grave that lets people summon an NPC-controlled phantom of yours. Like, it's a phantom of your character that other people can fight, and they can get your gear. Not steal your gear from your inventory, but they can get, like, some facsimiles of it. That is another really important aspect of combat in Nioh that gives it so much of its identity when you see me flash blue like that. Oh, we also have plunging attacks I'll show off. Really good plunging attacks at that, and criticals. Whenever you see the targeting reticle red, you can do a critical attack. either a death strike while they're on the ground, or, you know, a nice juicy slash through their gullets. I was talking about the key pulse. You'll see it all throughout this video. It's a technique that you have to get familiar with really quickly. So happy I got a spear this early on. I fucking love the spears, especially medium stance. Super good for crowd control. It's very hard to fight multiple enemies at once. I think we're about to get... Yeah, they did aggro. 3-on-1. The light attack and medium stance with a spear. Super wide arc. Keeps you at a distance. It's great. So the key pulse. It's like an active reload for your stamina. When you... Hello? When you attack and you lose stamina, the red part of the stamina bar fills up blue for a second, but just a split second. And you'll see a shimmer around your character. That's the other indicator. If you hit R1 while the bar is blue, you instantly recover that stamina. Otherwise, you have to wait for the bar to refill on its own, and that can be really slow and painstaking. Eventually, though, that key pulse, it just becomes second nature after attacking. The other thing I should say about it is you lose that red stamina, the recoverable part of the stamina, if you take another action after a combo. That includes dodging, blocking, or starting a new attack up. You can always tell when it's a badass because he has armor on. The samurai tend to have hyper armor, so you have to be careful about how you attack them. They don't get stun locked as easily. But if you want to stagger them, high stance is again really good for that. I find the stances to be pretty well balanced now in the beta. You could do some stuff with the low stance in the alpha that I'll explain later on when it becomes a bit more relevant. That made low stance maybe a bit too powerful. They changed a couple things from alpha to beta. Like, they changed how the lock-on works. They removed weapon durability, which is the best change ever. It's a godlike change. They expanded the zones a bit. The beta, from what I can tell, is quite a bit different. It's very tweaked. Fundamentally, it's the same game, though, and I loved Nioh back in the alpha. Now they're explaining key pulse. If you care to read the tutorial text of something I already explained. And enemies are governed by the same rules. Every enemy in the game has their own stamina displayed, and they follow the same rules that you do for the most part. Like, blocking regenerates stamina very slowly for both you and enemies. Movement, like running and dashing, if you force them to chase after you, will consume their stamina. Attacking consumes stamina. Blocking attacks consume stamina. If they're in high stance, like they have their own stances, consumes extra stamina. And if they run out, you get to have a critical attack against them. Like right here. He fell down, so I just plunged the spear into him. It's a fantastic feeling game. Like, in the history of the short history of games that have kind of aped the Souls formula, especially its control scheme, which I, like, ever since Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, has just felt like such a no-brainer. Like, why aren't more people copying this? It is how action RPGs should feel. I remember way back thinking, like, how has it taken this long for someone to figure this out? Man. Fucking good game Demon Souls was. Anyway. in the short history of games aping that style, and especially that control scheme, Nioh feels very easily, even in this early unfinished stage of the game, like the best one. The other most high-profile example I can think of in a big AAA game was Lords of the Fallen, and Lords of the Fallen did not feel good to play. It felt very, very clunky. And not in the way that Souls combat is supposed to feel weighty, it just didn't feel right. There was something off about how the controls responded. But this, taking more influence from Ninja Gaiden and Onimusha and Bloodborne, just feels right. Ooh, now we get yokai. So we've been mostly fighting like little Sengoku militia and samurai. Now we get some yokai. Yokai behave similarly. You notice they don't have stamina though. They have a little purple bar that does not regenerate until you completely drain it. And at that point, you get a bunch of bonus damage against them. Yeah, let's make sure that he can't follow me and ambush me a bunch. Oh, shit! I canceled the attack at the last second, but didn't have the invincibility frames to avoid that ambush. Man, I love you, medium stance spear. Got into experiment around with the different weapon types. There's a dual katana, the regular uchi katana, spears, hammers, axes. I love the spears so much. Dual katanas seem really good in high stance in the beta so far. And I don't mind the Masakari axe either. Nope. If I remember right, these guys have an attack that can poison you while they're crawling around on all fours. They grab you, they should bathe you in acid, and that leaves a poison effect. I think I picked up a few antidotes though. You also have to watch where you're fighting to maintain situational awareness, because if you're using a moveset or a stance with wide sweeping horizontal attacks in confined areas, you will just glance and clang off walls. Light attack and high stance with a spear is really good for those kinds of places because it's a nice big overhead strike. Hey, I think that's one of the healer blessing Kadamas. The heavy attack and medium stance is also a nice thrust forward. And we're about to open up a nice big shortcut that I don't remember being in the alpha. We saw this back in the beginning. It had the corpse with the item on it in the very beginning. And it leads back to the shrine, the bonfire, so we can level up a bit and explore what we can do at the shrine. So just like Souls, this will respawn all of the enemies and act as our respawn point when we die. So first off, did I get anything else I want to equip? Let's just go through. Oh yeah, here we go. The Shogun helmet. The Ronin helmet. Managing your equipment weight matters a bit. I don't think it affects anything like iframes on your roll or how far your roll goes or how fast it comes out. It consumes instead more stamina. All of your actions consume more stamina the heavier your gear is. So I tend to err towards 50% or less. I don't know if there are any hard and fast breakpoints. Spirit stones are bundles of souls. Of course they are. And we use that as currency to level up because of course we do. Okay, so what do we got at the shrine? First off, level up. Body will scale the spears up and give us health. Stamina is for equipment weight. Heart is for ki or stamina. And also some scaling. Like, I think you noticed there's a cannon in there. We have some options as far as firearms and bows and crossbows and magic that we'll get into eventually. We can make an offering of some of our gear at the shrine in order to sell it. Get a very mild amount of money. Or was it Amrita? You know I'm just going to call them souls. Like, I never got into that habit in Bloodborne of calling them blood echoes, so... yeah, you know what they are. Let's see, we also have a guardian spirit, little cute puppy, elemental theme that give us various buffs and stats. Like, some of them can sense enemies. I'm just gonna stick with the fire pup. And we'll throw on the healer blessing. We actually got one of them. One of the Kadamas for that. And that increases the drop rate for elixirs. Elixirs are essentially our Estus flasks. By default, we always respawn with 3 elixirs. You can find several more. Like, you can find as many as you want, just as random drops off of enemies. And eventually, I think as you find more of your little companion buddies, specifically the healer ones, with their blessing, you start off with 4 and then eventually 5 elixirs. Now we can just get back on the main path. The other thing that your puppy, your guardian spirit, governs is something called a living weapon, which you might not see until the boss. If I remember, I'll pop it before then. It's a buff that makes you invulnerable for a time and gives you more damage. There's an interesting little facet to the living weapon, though. The duration of it depends on how many times you get hit. So you won't take any actual health damage while you have living weapon active, but if you take a bunch of hits, it will end prematurely. Not again, not twice. Almost fell for that twice, actually. Hey, buddy, stop that shit. Broke his guard, and now right through the gut we impale him. Run him through. Almost missed this. Oh, samurai with a spear. And a friend. Ah, shit. That was almost bad. The thing is, if you run out of stamina, they changed how this works slightly. You don't get guard broken until you take a hit while you're out of stamina. But once you do get guard broken, I mean, that's the term I'm using for it, but it's more like exhausted. You have to stand still panting in exhaustion after, and you take like 3 or 4 seconds where you're just standing still, and you can be critted in that time before you regain your stamina and you can take actions again. How it used to work in the alpha is if you ran out of stamina at any point, so even if you were just dashing away from an enemy, you would stop and have to catch your breath. Now you actually have to take a hit, an enemy has to cause you to go into that exhaustion state. Now it's just you. Guarding is a very viable option in this. The fact that you have no shield might trick you into thinking that it's a bit more like Bloodborne than it is. But blocking with a weapon is more effective than you think, or than Souls games would lead you to believe, because you don't take any chip damage through the block, and you don't lose that much stamina, and in fact, you can spec your character to lose even less health. Or I mean, even less stamina when blocking. So we have our second shrine. And we can move on to the second zone of the first main mission. Oh, you're gonna fall off. Ah! Not sure if he died. Soon we'll get into the shooting controls, and they are good. It's actually embarrassing how much better the bow and arrow aiming is in this compared to any of the Souls games. Like, for there to be so many Souls games, plus all their DLCs by now, and for the aiming to still be as bad as it is, and then for Nioh to just come along and instantly fix that, it's kind of shameful. On FromSoft's part. Ooh, I don't like that spot. You're the guy who fell down before? I think you are. So we came across this village earlier, or this section of the village, the walled-in bit. Except we were on, I think, the side that I'm facing now, coming through the fence. Now we're just coming through a hole in it. It feels so natural. It feels the way that it should to feel a fucking bow, to shoot a bow and arrow. Whoa. This is why we didn't come in from the other side, because we would have had to fight probably 2 or 3 enemies at once. And that was before I had put some armor on. And armor's pretty useful, stats-wise. I wouldn't go as far as to say completely ignore the doctrine of Fashion Souls for stats, but it'll help out. Get quite a bit of damage mitigation from it, as opposed to, say, Bloodborne. You know what problem we're gonna run into? The Nioh community? What do we call the fashion for this game? This one-word game. Shit. It's always been easy up till now. Fashion Souls, Fashionborn, King's Fashion. Uh-oh. Really low on stamina. There we go. Good meaty attack. Oh, I'm getting low too. Something that you have to watch in heavy stance here is your key pulse. Your key pulse also does a slight attack, and it's got a lengthy animation. It's not instant like the medium and low stance key pulse. So you have to be careful about when you use that. That was a good old headshot. Can I get over to him in time? They fall down after headshots, so you can run up and stab them. Okay, there's a reason I'm clearing the outside first, because we are about to run into the first of a new enemy type. Particularly strong ones. You see how the air is distorted over there, almost defiled? That indicates that you're coming up to a special kind of yokai called an Oni. They are very strong enemies. Now, but had I not cleared this area out, he would have had backup. For all intents and purposes, they're like mini-bosses. They're, you know, Black Knights, so to speak. And I'm using heavy stance to break their guard a little bit quicker. Oh no, that's bad. So what he just did is leave behind a patch of defiled ground, which you can purify. That's another mechanic of the key pulse, is purification. Like you saw just there, I timed the key pulse perfectly to regain the maximum amount of stamina, and that purified the defiled ground from the Oni. He dropped a better spear. He dropped a better spear. Oh shit. Hello. Fuck, 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 fuck. Speaking as a Soulsborne veteran, I definitely have to agree with everyone saying that Nioh is quite a bit harder than Souls games. It's savage. It's much harsher. The penalty for dying is essentially the same thing. You leave behind your souls. And then if you die one more time, you lose whatever you drop permanently. But enemies are so much more aggressive and damaging, and the penalty for running out of stamina is much scarier. And we're coming up on our third shrine. I'm wondering if I can make this. There's no jump button. I'm not sure if he'll jump on his own. I think he'll just plummet straight down. Yeah. There's a hill that goes back to the shrine anyway. That's okay, though. I'm going through the demo a little bit quickly, so I missed a bunch of companions and a couple of other things. This will be a shortcut later. Game is now teaching us about purification. Master Samurai's locks give us skill point, and the young ninja's locks. We'll go into skills now, because that's a system of the game that we have not yet even looked at. We have skill trees in this. We have skill trees for all of our weapons, plus magic, plus ninjutsu. So this will give us a weapon buff that replenishes whenever we rest at a shrine. This, yeah, more elixirs. You can get all sorts of stuff in the ninjutsu tree. Reduces ki when dashing. We can get smoke bombs. We can get poison shurikens and kunai. I think there's a special parry in this tree. There's all sorts of goodies. And this is where we get a little bit even closer to character action than Bloodborne, because we unlock new moves and combos and stuff that can be strung together in very, very nifty ways. If you've ever seen a Nioh Alpha combo video, I've seen a couple. You can do some crazy ass stuff with this game's combat system. So I'm getting a couple buffs that give me more damage when I do a perfect key pulse, a couple new moves that are stance specific, like I have a medium stance parry. I have that. I didn't have enough points, but there's a follow-up to that. When you leap through the air, you can come straight down for an attack, a plunging attack. That's our parry. And in high stance, if you follow that up, what is it? With triangle, you get to do a trillion stabs afterwards. There's a lot to this. So much to this, in fact, that I haven't actually gotten all that acclimated yet to using all of this stuff in combat, remembering that I even have it. So I'm going to ready one of my jutsu, which was my weapon buff. I haven't messed around with magic builds too much yet. I've heard some rumblings that magic builds can be perfectly viable, though. So I'm going to be back in just a second while I go and do some tedious inventory management and other stuff. I'm all done with that now. You can see I've equipped the bronze hammer so we can play around with another new weapon a bit. Before, I was talking about equipment weight and how it affects the consumption of your ki. That only applies to armor, however. Weapons do not have weight. They don't affect your equipment weight. Because they don't want you to not have that option to switch to your alternate weapon on the fly. They don't want you to have to worry about, oh, is this weapon too heavy? Can I afford to use my other weapon slot? Can I afford to have a bow equipped if I need it? I wasn't expecting this Oni to show up. Holy shit, he went right through my living weapon. He exhausted the entire bar of my living weapon and then still did damage to me with that combo. I was not being careful. Let's purify all this. And I'm gonna run back to the shrine. The Oni do not respawn, which again furthers the comparison to Black Knights. They're one-off enemies. I should have dodged his attacks. You can prolong the length of your living weapon that way. Oh, you're a little idiot. You fell over. I'm the idiot. I got hit while he was on the ground. No, it was me. I'm stupid. Played possum. And a living weapon recharges fairly quickly. I haven't paid enough attention to figure out quite how living weapon recharges. I can't tell if it's number of strikes against an enemy, the amount of damage you do, or if it has something to do with the ki pulse. Because we're already back to halfway. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what affects how quickly you get living weapon back. Oh, shit. He triggered from further away than I thought he would. Yeah, enemies hit pretty damn hard. I don't want to fight him out in the open because there's a guy on the roof shooting flaming arrows down. Plus, he's a samurai, so it's dangerous no matter how I fight him because he can hyper armor through stuff like that. The beauty of the spear, though, is its range. Once you learn the max range of it, and you can kind of play footsies with enemies, damn, the spear is just so powerful. It's not the highest damage output weapon. It might be one of the higher DPS ones, though, compared to the slow Masakari axe or the bronze hammers. Might only be second in DPS behind the dual katanas. And then I like magic in this. Magic and gun-based builds. I haven't even explored that. It's like the Majula Well, except with not quite as valuable a treasure inside. This is an aspect of the UI that I find kind of weak. Is when you collect items, they don't flash up very prominently, so stuff can slip by. I wish they were a little bit more prominent, you know, like bottom center of the screen, kind of like Souls. There's another problem with looting in this game, and it's you tap circle near a corpse that has an item on it in order to get the, oh, watch out for this bad carpentry. That is a hole in the roof that you'll fall through and get ambushed in. You'll tap circle near an enemy in order to get them to drop their gear. But then it shoots out onto the floor and you have to collect it again. And you also have to hold circle near a body. It's not very long, but it's... I just don't like it. Could just be one quick click. Same thing for ladders, actually. I wish you didn't have to hold down the prompt for ladder climbing. I'm trying to draw this guy out. I'm okay with it for chests and for things like summoning revenants, though. You actually have to hold the button down for a couple of seconds so you don't accidentally do it. You are going to be a problem, aren't you? Especially with my back to the wall like this. There we go. Give me a chance to reverse position. There is an ability for medium stance. While you're guarding, if you hit light attack, you swap positions with the enemy. It's kind of a cool animation. I should have picked it up. But I'm trying to make sure that the video isn't all going in and out of menus and stuff, so I've only done it twice, both times when I hit a shrine. I think that's a pretty good pace for this quick look. Hello, friend. I want it. I wanted it really bad, but now I have no stamina. Oh, shit. I got lucky. I got lucky after being pretty reckless. These look like you should be able to cut them. Like they should open something up. Maybe in the final game? Hey! Samurai? No, just a regular militia. Not sure how I feel about the random drop system. It's mostly pretty inoffensive. It makes me wonder whether or not there's going to be actual unique gear that kind of spawns in one scripted location. Or if it's just going to be that kind of yellow, blue, purple style item rarity. Okay, the ladder up to the watchtower is the way forward. Just want to make sure there's nothing that I've missed. I think there's probably some stuff inside one of these huts. These are the huts that you drop into if you fall through the holes in the roofs. And everybody falls through those holes their first time. I have no way to prove that, but come on. I know you did. Goddamn carpentry. Every time. Feudal Japan apparently didn't have very good carpentry. They're also doing their own thing in terms of how they're going to present their storytelling. It seems like not any of this arcane hidden tidbits strewn throughout item descriptions. It seems like they're going to be a lot more explicit about how they tell their story. Okay, let's just do this right this time. Because I should get this back before the first boss. Whoa! Never prepared for how quickly a single hit will drain living weapon. You can really prolong it if you're dodging correctly. Two. Yeah, you can see when I did the key pulse, he did a little, he twirled the spear a bit. And that will do damage, but it also prolongs the length of the animation so that you can't take another action as quickly. Oh, we got some epic boots. Purify this with a key pulse. And there was nothing in here. So now if we have to, like if we die, that just, it kind of opens up a shortcut now that the Oni isn't going to be in the path, because we can just run straight back to the watchtower. Have to fight like 2 or so demons plus the archers. You should also try to keep an eye out on the mini-map. They make it easy to catch your attention, like in your periphery, because when an enemy spots you and becomes hostile, a little sound effect plays and the mini-map flashes red for a second. Doesn't stay red. So you do have to be concentrating, but... And want to knock him off because he would have just climbed back up and started being annoying. Instead, we can get his souls. No elemental chip damage either. Oh, it's so nice. Like I wasn't taking extra damage because his arrows were coated in fire. Wasn't taking damage through the block. This is the worst Oni fight in the demo. But you have so little room. Oh no, is he stuck? Oh, there's a layer below. He just fell down. Okay. You don't have a lot of room to maneuver. There's fire on the roofs, which will hurt you a lot. Oh shit, and I didn't finish him off. And there are holes on these roofs. There's not a lot of room to get around. Christ. Oh shit, I'm in high stance. I thought I was in mid stance. The extra animation on a high stance key pulse got me killed. However, we couldn't have gone the whole Nioh demo without taking a death. Got my little fire pupper back. I'm gonna try to be a little more economical with this space and not back up quite as far. If I can keep my ground a little better. Oh no. Does he have a follow-up off that? No. Oop. So I still have this bridge. Which isn't bad because it's got some nice OSHA-approved guardrails on it. This roof I'm not comfortable fighting on though, if I can avoid it. Should be able to. Better. Much better. Oh, still alive. Not for long. I was getting worried. Because, the roof that he was pushing me back to is the one that has the spot that'll give way. And I don't really feel like fighting an Oni plus whatever the ambush is down there. I swear there's supposed to be something that ambushes me here. Maybe not anymore? Okay. Gee, almost. You almost did it. You might still do it. Nope. You failed harder than any yokai has ever failed before. There's nothing else on this roof. I thought there was a Kadama. Or... that might be later. It might be on a different rooftop. Okay, let's drop down to this one. So we can get a plunging attack off. It's got a bit of an area of effect. And then more of a lock-on, kind of like the Dark Souls 3 plunging attack. You're the one who fell. You're the one who let down his whole family. This poor yokai family. Shit. There's one of their grab attacks, not the poison one. Aww. I don't remember that telegraph being in the alpha. They're now telegraphing their attacks with that shimmery silver light. Might be for visibility purposes before. They were kind of hard to read visually back in the alpha. I just remember them behaving kind of differently. They used to be pretty dangerous. Now they're kind of dumb. Oh, another one of the Majula Wells. Come on. That sweeping attack is kind of a weird hitbox. Okay, we have one samurai patrolling around. Oh no! God, I suck. I wanted the headshot for the first two, and then I would have settled for the body shot and still missed. Oh, we're getting a whole party. I want to get to them before... they regenerate stamina, but I was so worried about the samurai. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Okay, no. No! Aw, the fire. Oh, there's a little Kodama here I think that's a healer one, too. Oh, they hide when there's enemies nearby. I thought they were supposed to show up as green blips on the minimap, though. Guess not. Certain things show up on the minimap. I think the minimap is overall a little bit worthless. This little guy back to the shrine. They're so adorable in stark contrast to everything else in this game. They're like Puck in Berserk. People seem to hate Puck. I fucking love Puck. I know I've talked about this before, but Puck is a necessity. He adds that little bit of levity to Berserk that it needs in order for all of those heavy, dark moments to hit that much harder. Otherwise, you would get numb to it pretty quick. Oh, we got a bunch of horse shit. Oh, we got another charm. Charms are essentially rings. Did I see... No, the mini-map didn't flash, so... I'm gonna assume that wasn't anything dropping behind me for an ambush. Oh, I hope I don't get too complacent with that mini-map and it doesn't wind up failing me. Yeah. Okay, this is the spot I died before. Just looking around for it. No, Amaterasu! That's what it looks like when you get your bloodstain back. Let's not fight him, because apparently I aggroed all these. Okay, so we're already not off to a sterling beginning. I really want to take advantage of this. While the startup for that animation is playing, you are vulnerable. Once you actually start impaling him, when the camera switches like that to that cinematic mode, that's when you have a little bit of invincibility shit. I do not want to take another death on this one dumb fight. Okay. Still not quite out of the woods. This guy is still dangerous. You can get stun locked in Nioh. God. Which is especially bad because if you're mid-animation and you hit them and they're starting their own animation up and they hyper armor through it, you can just get comboed to death. Like most of those samurai enemies I've been saying are so dangerous because if they touch you once and they combo you once, you can lose all of your health in that one combo. So like Nioh plays for fucking keeps. Hello? You don't have friends behind me, do you? Okay. You didn't. The sound of crackling fire is disguising footstep noises. That's an audio design effect that I've always kind of loved. Little ambient environmental noises disguising danger. You know what, there's another really good moment like that. It's not quite what I'm talking about, but it's in Battlefield Bad Company 2's campaign. There's a mission where you are playing as a sniper, and you have to time the sound of your rifle shots with thunder strikes, thunderclaps. So you have to watch for the lightning and then time when the thunder is about to hit from that. It's really cool. Hey friend, we're almost out of the woods and back to a shortcut. I don't think there's anything too dangerous from here on out unless I feel like summoning a particularly bad revenant, which I don't. The other problem with the way the item text is displayed is no icon, which I guess means less art that they have to get assets for. No, but there are still tooltip icons in the inventory screen, so that doesn't matter. But the text is also really small. Fuck it. Oh, I've never been back here before. Oh, I hope there's not some secret, scary-ass enemy waiting. No, it's just a bunch of items. I hope I never noticed this before. Holy shit. Shinjuku medicine. A Harakiri sword? Okay. And a new spear. I didn't catch whether or not that's better than my current one. Hold on. Let me, before I do let me not step in the water before I do anything, mess around with equipment. Make sure I can just open up the shortcut. Getting pretty close. Come My shadows are now making me paranoid. I just heard some kind of growl of a large cat, it sounded like. Oh, it doesn't open from this side. Can't quite remember how you're supposed to open that. From the cliffs around here, it seems like you might have to fall onto the roof and get in that way. Oh! Wow, that's such a hard hit. He's in heavy stance. Oh. Shit, now medium stance. They share your movesets. I don't know how many weapon types are going to be in the final game. I'm hoping there are more, and I'm sure there will be. I'm hoping there are unique weapons. Not only unique in their movesets, but name as well. But yeah, movesets too. Whoa, here's hoping for the whirligig saw. Okay, so let me mess around with some stuff now that we've opened up a shortcut. And I'll be back in, you know, a moment or two while I get prepared for a boss fight. Okay, time to go. There are a couple more enemies near the shoreline that we didn't clear out, but there's no reason to. If we run just along the dock and block that fire arrow, we go into this galleon. And time for a boss fight. Norioki. I find him to be an appropriate, tough first boss who puts your ability to manage your stamina to the test. His first phase is pretty simple. You can manipulate his AI pretty well. You don't want to be behind him because he will start swinging his balls and chain all around the room, and his range is, well, you can see it's about 3/4 of the room. Something that makes his first phase more manageable is that he does not attack you from max range. He tends to only start swinging when you're up in his face. I have to remember about the high stance key pulse. If you hit him in the head enough times, I'll take a bunch of damage, and he's also guard broken now. You can see the chains have snapped, so he's also not using those as a weapon anymore. He's on to his next phase. Now he'll start leaving behind defiled ground that you have to purify, otherwise they cover so much of the room that you will really regret not purifying it because of how bad it hampers your stamina regeneration. Oh, hey. Like Beowulf. He's a lot more moves in this phase. I'm avoiding using living weapon on this attempt because this has not been smooth so far. And I don't want to waste it. This is a good opportunity to get some damage in. He might kill me on this first try. I haven't fought him since the alpha. Ah, that was a bad time to buff my weapon. The buff animation takes longer than I thought it did. Okay, I feel like I have this time. I have to clean a few things up. Namely, I have to stop using the heavy stance Kai pulse. Because that's slowing me down. I'm not getting out of the way in time. Once you knock him down after hitting him in the head, get a couple of hits in, back off, because he swipes with his hand. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Something that I had forgotten about up to this point is something unique to heavy stance now. Is you do a key pulse when you evade. You recover your stamina on an evasion if you time it right. So you get the active reload mechanic when you're backing off or trying to circle around him. That's something they changed in the beta from the alpha, is the low stance used to have that evasion low key pulse too. You can no longer do that in low stance. I can't remember if you could do it in medium stance. You could definitely do it in heavy now. And it has the same purifying effect as a regular key pulse, in that it will purify the defiled ground. Oh, he's not sure what he's trying to do. Like, he thinks the cannonball is closer to him, or if he's just... I hope he doesn't get like that the whole fight. Okay. That attack is actually really hard to dodge when he throws the cannonball at you, if you're close to him. Okay. We're getting to that point where I feel like living weapon is perfectly appropriate for now. You can finish him with that. There we go. I think that's a really good first boss. He tests your knowledge of the mechanics that you learn up to this point in a perfect way. And he's tough too. Oh, that spear is... Oh, it's got some stuff on it. Like, it has a proficiency bonus, it has good scaling. It's got some stance-specific stuff. Its raw damage is worse. That's not a bad spear that he dropped.
Who are you?
A foreigner? Your skill against Oni is impressive.
As is your skill with English.
My name is Hanzo Hattori. And you are?
Call me William. I'm here in pursuit of someone.
An enemy, perhaps? Hunting a person down in a strange land will not be easy. If you lend me your strength in fighting Oni, I will help you in return. Well then. Dawn is breaking. Come.
Anyway, that's it for my quick look at the Nioh demo. There's still more to do in the game, though. There's submissions, there are kind of like challenge rooms, and another main mission, another boss fight. So, I'm really, really looking forward to Nioh a lot. It's impressed the hell out of me since its first showing, and especially that first alpha, and now the beta. I have faith that this is going to be a good game. So thanks for watching. You can go download the beta on PSN now. It's available until, sorry, can't quite remember off the top of my head. I think it's early September, like maybe September 3rd. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.